Okay, good evening all. Can you please confirm that you can see me? You can hear me, you can see my screen as well. I'm having only Mrs. Chuwe here. What about others?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
How have you been?
Fine. Are you done with work?
Yeah.
Okay. They will soon join.
Okay. I think Mrs. Angela has joined. I'm waiting for the other woman. Let me put a call across for her so that we don't waste our time.
Good evening, sir.
You're all welcome to our usual class. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Everybody can see my screen, Abby?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let us continue without wasting time. Which was the last question we saw? Let me check.
Section 13.
Question 13, right? Okay. So let me stop this so that I will share the solution sheet. Let me share the solution sheet. Okay. Question 13. Okay, good. Question 13. So after question 13, I went straight to explain the concept of project-specific cost of capital, right? Have we gone through that process? Hello? The procedure I will look at in our last class, have we gone through those processes for computing project-specific cost of capital? How many of us have done that? Nobody. Because we are going to start using the procedure now to compute our project-specific cost of capital. Yeah. So let us go to question number. Okay, I think I said you should jump. We jump question 11 and 12, Abby. We jump to question number 13. We jump to question number 13, yeah. I think I remember. Please you should be guiding me. I take a lot of students. I might not know where you people actually stopped. Okay. We have solved 13A. We have to solve question 13B. I think I can see it now. We have to solve question 13B. So let's go straight. What's the requirement of question 13B? Question 13B says, by calculating an overall equity beta and using the CAPM, estimate the overall work of BP, assuming that the project goes ahead, and comment upon the implication of a permanent change in the overall work. So we want to compute. We want to compute computation of overall work of BP. We want to compute the overall work of BP. Now, we already know that BP will be having two operations, right? Two businesses. What's the first one? BP is having food retailing and the company is now, in addition to food retailing, the company want to go into what? Holiday travel. Holiday travel. Now, these two businesses, we have their what? Project specific work. This one we have it work. This one we also have it work. This question is now telling you that compute just one single work for BP instead of having work for food retailing and another work for holiday travel. Let us get a weighted average work. That's what we call overall work. I don't know what's happening to my voice. Excuse me, please. So we want to combine the work of the food retailing with the work of the holiday travel business. That's what the question refer to as overall work. Now, how do we compute overall work? Don't forget that for us to compute work, we need what? We need business risk. Have you? Business risk. If you want to compute work for food retailing, you need the business risk. Measured by what? Measured by asset beta. We also need the what? For the holiday travel, we also need the business risk. Measured by what? The same asset beta. So when you want to combine the work of these two businesses, it's not that you go and compute work separately for food retailing and you compute work separately for holiday travel. No. Okay, no. This is what I'm going to do. You will take the business risk of the food retailing, you will combine it with the business risk of the holiday travel business.
Sorry, sir. Sorry to take you back.
Yeah.
The requirement of the question, we've not done the second number for A, the second part of A, the Gordon growth model.
No. We didn't even do A at all.
We did A, we did CAPM.
We didn't do A. What we did there is B. This is B, look at it.
We didn't do A, okay.
That A is purely the normal cost of capital we have done before. That's why I now give aside that you go and attempt that A.
Okay.
Yes.
You remember? I said go and attempt that A. Using CAPM and using Gordon to calculate what? You can see current work.
Current work, okay.
Did you understand?
Yeah.
So if a question asks you to compute overall work, what you will do is you have to get the business risk of the food retailing. You also get the food business risk of the holiday travel. You combine the two. That gives you what we call what? Weighted average beta of assets. weighted average what? Beta of asset. Now, when you get your weighted average beta of asset, it means you have gotten one single beta of asset for BP. So you will now regear the what? The beta of asset using the gearing of Bauku so that you get a combined beta of equity. Use the beta of equity to compute your what? To compute your cost of equity, then compute your WACC. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So let us follow a stepwise approach to solve this question so that you understand what I'm talking about. The first thing is what? Step one. Let me call it step one. You need to obtain the business risk. When I say business risk, I'm referring to what? Asset beta of the two businesses. Okay, of the two businesses. So let's look at it. If you look at for the holiday travel, we already have the asset beta. True or false? Look at it. That's what we have here as what? 0.95. That's the business risk of the holiday travel business. So we already have that. So I will come here. For holiday travel business. The beta of asset is 0.95, which we computed before. Now, what about for the food retailing? Do we know the asset beta? No. For the food retailing, if you look at the question, you know that is the current activity of this company. So the beta given to us in the question is, where do we have it? It's 0.6, if I'm not mistaken. Look at it. After the extract statement of financial position, we have the beta to be 0.6. That beta is what? Beta of equity. But what beta do I need? I need beta of asset. So I will put it here. Current beta of equity is 0.6. But I need beta of asset, so I need to ungear it. So let's go and ungear. Ungear the beta of equity using whose information? Using BP's information, because it is BP that has that beta of equity. So how do we ungear? Beta of asset is equal to beta of equity times market value of equity all over market value of equity plus market value of debt 1 minus tax rate. 1 minus tax rate. So what's our market value of equity? What's our market value of equity? Let's see from the question. Do we have it here? Let me see. Yeah, we have it here. We have it here. This is the whole thing we need. And this is the tax rate. I need this. This is the whole thing I need here. Okay. This is the market value, my market value of equity. This is my market value of debt. And this is the tax rate. Hope they are not having different tax rate. Let me confirm the tax rate, whether they are the same or different. Okay, it's 21%. So I put this in the formula. I have beta of assets to be equal to beta of equity 0.6 multiplied by market value of equity 6,430.8 all over 6,430.8 plus 2687 into bracket 1 minus 0.21. 1 minus 0.21. So I have my beta of assets to be equal to, well, let's multiply 0.6 times 6,430.8. We have 3858.48 all over 6430.8 plus 2687 into bracket 0.79. I believe we are following. So beta of asset will be equal to 3858.48 all over. So multiply this by this. We have a 26. Hey, the calculator is misbehaving. Okay, let me use my phone calculator. We have 2687 times 0.79 plus 6430.8. We have 8553.53. So divide this, you get your beta of asset. That's 3858.48 all over
0.45.
Is that
0.45.
0.45? Good. 0.45. That is step one. Can you see that? So anytime a question asks you to compute, I think this should be solution to, this should be C, I mean? This should be C, not B. Anytime a question asks you to compute overall WACC, that is weighted average WACC for the company as a whole, this is the procedure. Step one is to get the asset beta of the two businesses that the company is doing. When we are done with that, we move to step two. Step two.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
How did you get the 0.45? I didn't get it.
3858.48 all over 8553.53.
3858.48 over 8553.53. Okay.
You got it
Okay,
right?
I got it. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's continue. Now, after you have gotten your asset beta for the two businesses, the next thing is to compute weighted average beta. Weighted average beta, sorry. Weighted average beta of assets. Okay? You have to compute weighted average beta of assets. What do you mean by this? I want to combine the two beta of assets. Sorry, this one and this one. The two asset beta. I want to combine them. Now, combining them does not mean that you have to say it's 0.95 plus 0.45. No. You have to do weighted average. Now, let's go back to the question. Let us go back to our question. In that question, the last paragraph, look at the last paragraph. It can be estimated that, so the last sentence, after the assumption, after the tax, so before the tax order, the last sentence before the tax information, it has been estimated that if the project goes ahead, the overall equity beta of BP will be made up of 90% food retailing and 10% holiday travel. So you can see that To compute the weighted average beta of assets, we have been given proportion that the food retailing as what? As 90%. As 90%. While holiday travel as what? As 10%. As 10%. So this is the weighting factor. This is the weighting factor. So I cannot say therefore that my combined beta of assets will be equal to 0.9. Okay, food retailing is 0.45. 0.45 times 90%, which is 0.9, plus holiday travel 0.95 into bracket 0.1. This is how you get your weighted average. This is how you get your weighted average. So beta of assets combined will now be equal to 0.45 times 9 will give us what? Use my calculator. Why no correct again? Okay. 0.45 times 0.9 0.45 times 0.9. That is 0.405 plus 0.95 times 0.1, 0.095. So add these two together. You have a beta of asset combined to be equal to add 0.095 plus 0.405. We get what? 0.5. That is the combined beta of assets. Who did not understand this? Who did not understand this? Did you all understand?
Sir, please rewind it again.
From where?
How it's combined. That is, when do you know when it is the right thing to be done?
Yeah, that's what I said there from the beginning. That anytime that the question asks you to calculate overall work. Okay? When the question says compute the overall work, that is overall cost of capital for the company, it has to be combined. Are you there?
Yes, I'm listening.
And the combination is that you have to combine the business risk, because the only difference between these two businesses is what? Is business risk. They have the same financial risk, because both project is being undertaken by who? By Baoku. So the two projects will face the same financial risk, but they will not face the same business risk. That's the reason why what you need to combine is the business risk. When you get your business risk, you now what? You now reject it. So that is the reason why we are combining the two assets better. Anytime the question tells you compute overall work, you are combining the asset better. That is your starting point. Okay? That is the starting point. And if you look at the question has told you the way to combine. That's why the question says, assume that the food retailing account for what? 90% of the activity of Baoku, while the holiday travel account for what? Just 10%. So if the holiday travel is accounting for just 10%, So take 10% of the business risk. If the food retailer is accounting for 90%, take 90% of the business risk. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have gotten our combined asset better. We now go to step 3. Baoku is having debt, isn't it? Baoku is having debt. So Baoku will not only be exposed to business risk, it will also be exposed to financial risk. Hence, we need to recognize the financial risk of Baoku in this better. Okay, so we have to regear. We have to regear the beta of assets. We have to regear the beta of assets. And how do we regear? Beta of equity is equal to beta of assets plus beta of assets minus beta of debt times market value of debt 1 minus tax rate all over market value of equity. So beta of equity will be equal to our beta of asset is 0.5 plus 0.5 minus 0 times market value of debt is 2687, yeah, 2687 into bracket 1 minus 0.21 all over 6,430.8. So we have beta of equity to be equal to 0.5 plus 0.5 times 2687 into bracket 0.79 all over 6,430.8. So beta of equity will be equal to 0.5 plus 0.5. Now we now divide this by this. Let us multiply and divide. I have 2687 times 0.79 divided by 6,430.8. We have 0.33. So what should be our beta of equity? Beta of equity will be 0.33 times 0.5 plus 0.5. That is 0.67. That is our combined beta of equity. That's our combined beta of equity. So if this is my combined beta of equity, I can now go ahead to step 4. Step 4. We have to compute cost of equity. Don't forget, you use your cost of equity, beta of equity to compute cost of equity. Since we now know our combined beta of equity, we can now compute our combined cost of equity. Just use the CAPM formula. KE is equal to RF plus beta of equity market return minus risk-free. What is the risk-free rate in the question? What is our risk-free rate? Where do we have that information?
2%.
4.
2%.
2% you have seen it.
2% per annum.
2% plus 0.67 into bracket 8 minus 2%. So cost of equity is equal to 2% plus 0.67 into bracket 6 into bracket 6%. So our cost of equity should be equal to, well, let's calculate 0.67 times 6 plus 2, 6.02%.
Yeah.
That's our cost of equity. So the moment you compute the cost of equity, we can compute our work. That should be step 5. Compute work. Compute work. So what's our work? Work is equal to cost of equity times market value of equity all over market value of equity plus market value of debt plus cost of debt times market value of debt all over market value of equity plus market value of debt. So work will be equal to, our cost of equity is 6.02% times market value of equity 6,430.8 all over, let's add it together, 6,430.8 plus 2,687 will give us 9,117.8 plus, what's our cost of debt? Let us look for our cost of debt in the question. Oh, okay. We have 2 types of debt here. We have to compute the cost of debt for the two. So, in fact, the work is not the next one. Work is not the next. We have to compute cost of debt before work because we are not given cost of debt directly. Cost of debt, that's step 5. Compute cost of debt. We have 2 types of debt here. Number 1, we have a bank loan. How do we compute the debt, the cost? Cost of debt is equal to, interest rate is 4%. 4% into bracket 1 minus 0.21. That's equal to 0.21, sorry. Four times 0.79, that's 3.16. That's the cost of debt of the non-traded debt, which is our bank loan. So go to step 6. Sorry, the next one. Cost of what? Cost of redeemable debentures. Cost of redeemable debentures.
Sir,
Yeah.
the cost of debt that we calculated in the last class is 2,687.
Two
The
six.
value 2687.
What is that?
The value of debt, is it not the same thing as the
What did we
as
use
what
now?
for bank loan? You use the amount on the um in the state of financial position, the 635.
I'm coming. Let me confirm what that. The one we did last time.
Yeah,
This
the
is
value of debt.
so that's what we are using. Oh, okay. We have computed it before.
Computed it before. Yes.
I just
I
remember.
don't know if it's
I
different
didn't.
from
I've forgotten that we've computed it before. I think this is it, Abi.
yes. The bank loan is 635, while
5
the redeemable debenture
is 2052.
is 2052. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's 2052. No. You don't understand what I'm saying. What we need now, are you there? We know the market
Okay.
value of the debt now, but we don't know the cost of the debt.
Cost of debt. Oh, okay.
You understand? It's the
Okay. Yes,
cost
sir.
of the debt we want to calculate, not the market value.
Okay.
So we are using what? IRR. So you know,
Oh, yeah.
because
Yes.
it's a redeemable traded debt.
Okay.
Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Net interest is what's the coupon on the debt? The coupon is 6%. So 6% of 100 into bracket 1 minus 0.21. That gives us what? 6 times 0.79. What would that give? 6 times 0.79. That is 4.74. 4.74. Then market value. Market value is 108, if I'm to be correct. 108, right? Hello? Yes, it's 108. I've seen.
108. 108.
Don't forget, it has to be X interest, have you? But what they gave us is already what? X interest. That's why
Yes.
we're not adjusting it. All these people that we have learned earlier, please, don't throw them away, please. Because this one is already X interest, that's why no adjustment is made. If it is cum interest, you have to adjust, okay? We need to adjust. Now, what's the redemption value? Redemption value. Where do you have the information of the redemption of the debt? And they are
What?
redeeming at par. At par. So we have this. Let's
100.
set our table. We have here. Just use a table already so that it doesn't. Yeah. That 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. This should be okay. This should be enough. So I have my here. I have my cash flow. DCF at 10%. A minute, please. To the right. Let me insert to the right. We need more column than what I inserted. Sorry about that. Quickly adjust. Okay. DCF at 10%. We have percent value here. So another DCF at whatever percent there. PV. Let's copy this one and paste. Okay. So year one, how many? Year zero. Year zero is the market value. Market value. And the market value is 108 in brackets. Don't forget. Now, the debt we have how many years? The debt will be redeemable in May 2000.